politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the feed. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, community, and welcome to the feed. Instead of the feed on fact, today we have fact on the feed.
There you go.
Welcome,
That's great.
Alex.
I like that little opening there.
I know. I've been working on that.
Even without the coffee today,
Even without the
you're
coffee,
coming
I
up with the.
I'm coming up with the zingers.
Yeah.
It's April Fool's Day. Let me go through a few local events, and then we'll get to the main topic. So it's finally here. Cabaret is finally here. Starts this weekend. It's April 3rd through the 12th, and there's plenty of tickets available. Go to the Opera House website, and there are tickets as low as, I believe the lowest ticket tier is like $18. So there's afternoon or matinee performances, evening performances. So make sure you get to Cabaret. This weekend is Easter, and we have at Halliday's Harvest Barn. I haven't had coffee today, folks. I'm sorry. At Halliday's downtown Bells Falls, they're doing an Easter egg hunt. So how it works is they will hide Easter eggs around the store, and you come in to shop, and if you find an Easter egg and you open it up, you can get anywhere from 10% to 50% off your purchase. So that's a pretty good deal. So it's worth going in because I was in the other day, they've got some new spring stuff in, looking all reinvigorated. Also happening this Saturday is the first in the series of this year's Diner Dinners. It's a benefit for the Miss Bells Falls Diner. It's happening at the Moose. It starts at 5 o'clock. Tickets I believe there are still tickets available online. And from 5 to 5:15, they will do updates on the project, on what's happening with the diner car and what the plans are for making it a viable option for someone to come in and run it as a diner. And then at 6 p.m., it will be breakfast for dinner. So that's a pretty interesting. I love breakfast for dinner personally.
Oh, yeah.
I know a lot of people don't, but I think it's a big thing. And then I don't have a slide on this, but this is the weekend for the Rockingham annual road race that benefits Central Elementary School. It's a 2.5-mile loop. You do it twice. You start on Atkinson Street. You go up the hill behind the Central School. You then run around town, come back to Central School. That's loop one. You do it a second time. All of the money benefits I think it's the activity fund. They use the money for things that is not funded in any other way. So it allows them to do a lot of extra things with the kids. So it's a great run. You don't have to run it. You can walk it. And registration is between 9 and 10:15, right down at the Central School. So Alex, one of the big reasons we have you on is that you recently received an award.
Oh yeah,
you want to talk a little bit about that? And
Sure, I'll talk about it. I'm like really
talk about it all day, right?
Talking about receiving awards because I received the award for from the Vermont Basketball Association Award for Media Person of the Year for our coverage of the Bells Falls Union High School games. So I was very humbled by that. I don't necessarily, it was nice that they sort of appreciated us, but I feel like I'm just doing my job.
Right, right.
So it's just like, hey, you got an award for not taking out the trash, but for washing the dishes, right? It's just something that you normally do. So, but I do appreciate that. So, for sure.
It's something that for a long time, I think in the past couple of years that you've worked really hard to make sure that, especially I think it was mostly post-COVID was the big push, was really trying to cover the local sports. Yeah. Because so that people that weren't comfortable, I think it started with the idea that people maybe weren't comfortable going to the games or whatever, but they still wanted to see them. So you've worked for quite a few years to build the program up to the point of, do you cover almost all the sports now, or
no? We cover this year we covered football and pretty much cover all the basketball games. In prior years we've been able to raise funds to cover all of the fall sports. and so on and so forth. And we want to continue to do that. We want to continue to sort of be able to raise funds and have the resources to be able to cover more sporting events. We do cover some spring events for the high school. And so, yeah, we're always looking for opportunities to cover more sporting events because, during COVID or a lot of times folks can't make it. But the important thing is, the students and the coaches, especially when we have an announcer, it really sort of shines a spotlight on them. I mean, obviously they work hard at the sport that they're in, and then now they have like a nice video at the end of the game, but also moving forward in the future as they get older, they're going to want to sort of come back to those games and so on and so forth. So, and the parents really appreciate it. So it's just it's popular, and it's something that people want, and we definitely want to make sure that we provide that. And I think the important thing is the announcing. So and doing
you have some very good want to talk a little bit about the announcers that
I mean Joe Brooks has been announcing the games. I put out last year I was looking for an announcer, so luckily he had seen the post on Facebook and he popped in, so he was perfect to be announcer because he was into sports. He's done some sports announcing and he's coached, so he has some a really good insight and in terms of announcing the games, and so he does a really good job of sort of making sure that you highlight the students and sort of going into detail in terms of how the games are announced.
Making it more, giving it more life, I think would be the right term.
More life, more local,
when people are watching, like maybe they don't know who all the players are, and maybe I think that helps people really connect a little bit better to the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that we're going to continue to do, and we want to continue to do moving forward in the future. And we also had for football Nate Haskell, which was an excellent announcer. He was available to be able to do the announcing, but he's also a coach. And has coached football and actually knows the players. So both of them for the football season was really great to have the both of them announcing, because they really sort of gave some really great insight to the game.
I think that's important, and I think that's a huge plus. So you're not just and I think, again, I don't know what the criteria was, but you kind of FACT TV has gone the extra mile. You're not just videoing the game and letting people watch it and kind of figure out what's going on. I mean, if you know football, you know what's going on. Yeah. But to have the color, isn't it called color? The color.
Yeah, the color, the personality. Yeah. I mean, just to have that person sort of provide that entertainment and sort of understanding. So I mean, I did go to school for television, but I'm just saying your biggest asset are your personalities, or the talent. So finding good talent to really sort of up the games and really sort of provide that commentary is always key, and looking for that. And so we've been lucky, and at the same time, we want to continue to provide that, because I think people really see the value of that for sure. And we also do interviews, try to do interviews with the students, have guest students come on and do some announcing. So it really kind of sort of just, more local, more community-based announcing and broadcast is really what we're striving for. So. And your son did some announcing this year. Yep, Bryce does some announcing. Yeah, he's done a lot of co-announcing this year, because he's available and he didn't have anything else to do, because he just... he's connected to FACT TV. Yeah, so... So let's circle back a little bit about the fact that you do need to raise funds, like you basically get sponsorships, right? And why the sponsorships are necessary for this to happen. Yeah. So you want to talk a little bit about cable subscriptions dropping off, the money that used to come in is not as plentiful as it was. So in order to provide all of this, I'll let you tell it a little better than I tell it. Yeah, all public access centers have been suffering just a revenue decline from cable subscribers. So your public access center, this place, gets money from cable subscribers. It's a little line item on your bill. And just like everyone else, everyone else has moved off of cable in terms of streaming services, and so therefore our cable revenues declined, and so it makes it harder for us to have the resources to be able to cover these events. And in addition to that, we're not just a cable TV platform. We have transitioned where the customers have to having a great online platform where people can watch the games or any content online. Our own website, our own web hosting, and in addition to that, YouTube and so on and so forth. So we've transitioned. We're where the customers are at also.
Right.
So we're just not getting the revenue. So it is important for us to start doing some more fundraisers, to be able to raise the funds needed to be able to continue to kind of the same level of service and more for covering more
without
events.
the extra guaranteed revenue coming in. You
Yeah,
have
well,
to
the
get more
cable revenue is
creative.
going down. So unless the law changes, and we're able to get revenue from all service providers, because we all know that cable companies are now, even though they offer cable, they
not
they
their-
really don't care about that anymore. They just care make sure that you get internet and everything else with that. So unless the law changes, we're going to have to sort of mitigate that by doing some more fundraising. So.
Right. Because you still want to be able to give this, even though the funding has declined, you want to be able to give that same level of service to the community.
Yeah, and we're actually putting a lot of the funding, a lot of the funding that we do get from cable subscribers, and a lot of the funding towards having that online platform and website and so on and so forth. So,
which is great because you're right. I hear all the time people are like, "Oh, I don't have." They still think that FACT TV shows can only be seen on cable.
yeah.
So I hear that all the time. I don't have cable, so I can't watch your show. It's like, well, you can, because you have, and your new website is actually really user friendly, which is nice.
And it's online, and we have, we like people in Rockingham that watch content on our website. There's about 1,300 people per year that come in and engage with content on the site. So that's a fourth of Bella's Rockingham, basically, if it's 5,000, and we usually get about a fourth of the population in our other areas, and they're all online. So we have the reach, and people who know about that we're online do engage with FACT TV at least once a year, watch something, whether it might be a meeting or show and so on and so forth. So. Yeah.
And so we just had our annual meeting. So this was actually one of the discussions at the annual meeting was, what can we do for fundraisers? I know every nonprofit is looking for a fundraiser and looking for a unique fundraiser and looking for something kind of as an anchor fundraiser that you can build on, because there's just not as much in the grant realm out there anymore. Everybody is kind of strapped, so there's not as much in donations. But so talk a little bit about the I know it doesn't have a title, I know you don't have a date for it yet, but you have the concept of what the kind of spring fundraiser might be for FACT TV.
So what we've decided to do, what we're going to do is have a comedy show of local comedians in the area at the Bells Falls Opera House at 7 p.m. So yes, we don't have the title for it, and we don't have the promotional thing, but it's going to be about an hour and a half of fun entertainment of watching local comedians get up and perform. And they're not professional, because obviously you'd have like the top tier comedians like in this area, but they're sort of mid-tier and amateur comedians that have been working it, and they want a bigger crowd. And it's an opportunity. It sort of dovetails with who we are as an organization in terms of public access and providing the general public a creative outlet. So. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And so you'll purchase tickets. We'll have other things going on during the event, and all that money will go to help fundraise for FACT TV to be able to provide this platform and the services. So we're looking forward to having a really sort of great, fun night of comedy. There are some comedians that do go to the Opera House, but. And there are some comedy shows in Brattleboro, in Keene, but I don't think we really have anything like consistent in at the Opera House in Bellows Falls, especially sort of local, regional comedians, which is important.
Yeah, and I think I didn't even realize that these comedians, probably it is harder to find a venue that's it's a bigger venue to really get used to being in front of a big crowd.
Yeah,
because I would imagine that's a much bigger thing.
Oh yeah.
Like you're looking at not that you can see with the spotlights, but you're looking at like 500 people potentially in their seats watching you, versus you might be in a little club or something.
Yeah.
So it gives them that opportunity. And think about that win-win part of it, that they get to try their material out on a
larger
bigger
audience
crowd.
for sure,
and it probably more diverse crowd.
Yeah.
So they can know I didn't think about that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's to have a big audience to be able to work on your stuff, or obviously we're going to have a mix of comedians that have a prepared routine and a mix of up and coming amateurs. But it's always great to have that. I mean, when I lived out in LA, I mean, I had the luxury of being able to go to a comedy show every Tuesday and Wednesday, and they would have sort of amateur night. So, and that was always fun. I mean, you'd always see sort of the up and coming stars, and comedy shows are great and fun. The last one I went to was with my wife up in Claremont to Bob Marley.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
And so he's a great regional comedian from Maine. So. But I mean, he travels around the world.
He does travel around.
He makes the big bucks.
He does, yeah.
I did the math as I was driving home. Like, how much is he making per show? He's probably making about 10 grand per show.
Well, hopefully somebody at your fundraiser show will also get on the bigger circuit.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about again, just to remind people all of the services that you have here at FACT, because I think people forget that they can be producers. They can do things. You have equipment. If you have something that you want filmed and FACT is not available, but FACT can teach you. So talk a little bit about a little bit everything else that you do that people sometimes forget. They just think you cover the sports and you cover town hall, and then you have producers come in, but there's a lot more that goes on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's common. Even myself, I'll ask someone what the time is, and I have a phone in my pocket that has a time on there. So that happens all the time. Yeah, FACT TV, there's a lot of resources like this studio, and this is your platform. You have access to this. It doesn't cost any money. If you have an idea to do a show and you want to be able to utilize this facility, all you have to do is just email us, give us a call, schedule some training on how to become a producer, and then you're on your way to doing a show. And this is kind of the easiest way to do a show, because we have all the equipment here, and it's basically you just come up with the content, and you come in, you do the show, and then you're out the door. And so we also have we also have equipment that people can take out, and if they want to do their show out in the field, it can be anything, a short film. I have an individual coming in to grab equipment because he's going to do his podcast at his home. So we have equipment available for that, and we'll train you. So those are resources. And then we also cover events, for free. We subsidize some of that, like some of the sporting events. But, if they're a major community event, you feel like it's important to the community, and you can go online and you can submit an event form, and we would determine whether or not we would cover it for free. So there's just so many resources to use if you want to sort of create content, be able to tell a story. And if you're a nonprofit or a business or a local, a nonprofit, a local organization that needs to promote themselves and so on and so forth, I mean, you could always
like
come
with
in,
a PSA, like if somebody
PSA,
just had like they had a fundraising event coming up and they didn't really want to do a show about it, or they couldn't. I mean, oftentimes we try to grab those people here in the feed, but timing doesn't work, or they could come in and basically just kind of tape a little rundown on their show. Right?
Yeah, they could come into the studio. You're exactly right. Tape a little sort of bulletin board community message about an event that's going on. They can also
people forget about that. I think it's been a long time, so I forget about it. Even.
Yeah. And on our website, you can submit a PSA on our website. So you provide the graphic, the poster, the flyer, whatever, and then you write all the information up, and it will be posted up on our website in the news section, and we'll put it up on our cable broadcast and so on and so forth. And if they wanted, even if you wanted to do. For example, if you're sort of filming your own sort of promotional thing with your cell phone, and you want to submit that you can submit that to FACT TV. We'll get it on cable, and we'll also distribute it out on our platform, so it gives you a wider reach. So, and
that's what I was going to circle back to, is the fact that you already have an established reach.
Yes,
and a pretty big reach. And sometimes when, especially like on social media platforms, if you don't post on them frequently, and then all of a sudden you post something, a few people will see it, but not if you're not a frequent poster, your algorithms are down, or however it works. But you guys post all the time, so you have kind of you already hit the reach. So you're gonna get to more people.
Yeah.
And it's super easy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll get more people with our reach, or just a different audience, and so on and so forth. So yeah, always submitting content is, if you live in our service area, or if you're an organization and have an event or PSA, you just submit PSA. It's on our website, or submit the video, and we'd be able to put that up for you. So those don't cost anything, unless you're, I mean, there are some guidelines. It can't just be a full-on commercial, right? It can't be a
Right.
business saying, we got the best grills in town, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if you were a business and you wanted to sponsor a show or FACT TV, it would be like, Business A is a proud sponsor of Falls Area Community
Right, then you get to
Television,
talk
and
about-
so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, it's just a lot of resources that people could utilize in terms of to help get their message out, or their story, and so on and so forth. So,
Yeah, no, I think that's important. I think that's what people forget about. They forget about the easy part. You don't have to do a show. You can come in and do a simple PSA.
yeah.
You can, and you're always looking for content. So I know at one point you were kind of doing a promotion type thing to get people to film their own content and send
Yeah.
it in.
Yeah.
And you can also, the other nice thing is, so say you're doing a promotion and you're trying to hit outside of just our little bubble here. There's multiple public access stations in the state of Vermont.
Yep.
There's I can't remember what it's called, a place where kind of you can go to and you can pull information from other public access TV, or can you ask other public access stations to use your content to display your content? Because everyone's looking for content, right? So you can get a broader reach. How exactly does that work?
You're correct. Yeah, or just here in Vermont, but also nationally. So the platform we use is called VMX, but that's where all the public access can grab content from any station. So there's 26 public access stations in the state of Vermont. And then there's actually one public access station that covers the whole state, called, I think, Vermont Community Access Television. And so if you do a show here, you will put it up on that bulletin, and other public access stations will grab it. We have one show, Grandma Kitty's House, which is really popular with other, because there aren't a lot of kids shows that come out. So hers is specifically a kids show, and she gets her content gets pulled from basically from a significant portion of public access centers in Vermont, but also in New England and nationally. So it's open to all the public access centers across the nation.
So if you're doing
I
something
think like
unique,
14 or 15
That's
or
great.
maybe 16 or 20. I don't know, but it's pretty good.
So I remember back when I was doing just the fitness ones, they would get pulled sometimes because they were it was general information. It wasn't specific just to this area. It wasn't promoting a specific event. Like Grandma Kitty, she's doing something for kids.
Yeah.
So if you have, like, maybe somebody wants to do a cooking show that isn't specific to just this area, but it's simple and easy cooking, or things like that, you can get you're likely to get a broader reach because they're generic shows.
Yes. Yeah. Or just broad topics. Broad topic shows.
Yeah.
I mean, like this show is more focused regionally, but we can also target that because in terms of our reach, in terms of Facebook, we can really target the region. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, but broader topics work more for YouTube, and then also other public access stations will pick it up for sure.
So we have about a little bit under 2 minutes left, actually a minute and a half. If someone wanted to donate, if they now understood that your income is declining, yet you still have many more things you want to do and make sure that you stay active in the community, is there a way that someone could just donate?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can go to our website, and if they click on any and hit donate, they can donate whatever amount they would like to Falls Area Community Television. Obviously, depending, it is, you can write it off on your taxes, and so on and so forth. So, and you can set any amount that you want. So we need, we're looking to raise funds to be able to cover more community events, more sporting events, and also, and that's huge, and also to sort of maintain the operations that we have here.
And then every once in a while, like new equipment. I mean, you have a lot of equipment.
Yep.
So you have to replace it sometimes.
So some equipment, yeah. So for in terms of the equipment, I know we got 42 seconds. We are donating a camera to the high school so that they can put that camera into the auditorium and have it be a turnkey solution where they can film any events that are going on in high school, or we can go there and film that.
And you're trying to do that at the Opera House,
and we're going to
too.
do the same thing with the Opera House, and that will be 3 cameras so we can cover those events. So the money, any money that's donated or equipment purchases, we're really, it's not, we're really looking to see how that's going to benefit the community. And one of those, and those are 2 areas, yeah.
And it's very visible. Sometimes you don't see where your money goes, but you can see. FACT TV is very visible in the community, so you can see if you sponsor things, it's going to go back into the community.
Yeah, you'll see it in the community. You won't see me driving in a Ferrari, right?
Although we'd like to, but that's not going to happen.
You'll see like the result of like a camera at the high school, more events being filmed over at the Opera House, and so on and so forth.
Perfect.
So,
Well, we've run out of time, Alex. All right, thanks for coming on the feed. Bye, community.
take care.
Yeah.